Today's quotation is a paraphrase of a William Shakespeare quotation from, of course, a play. And it simply reads, "All the world's a stage, and we are merely players. We have our exits and our entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts." Again, that's a paraphrase, and think about what that means. That the world is a stage. We act our lives out upon this stage, and our exit is our death, our entrance is our birth. It's quite that simple. And what we do in between, we have many acts. So just think about what you are to many different people. To your parents, you're their son or daughter. To me, you're my student. In terms of when you grow up and you get a job, the parts expand and expand and expand. So I'm a teacher, I'm an uncle, I'm a friend, I'm a husband. We play these different parts and we are different things to different people. So think of it as a part that you're playing right now, the part of the student, and how well are you playing this part? How well am I playing the part of a teacher? And then I come home and I have to play a different role. So we're all different things to different people, and it's kind of an interesting quotation knowing that it came from so long ago from William Shakespeare, and it's still true today. In this particular class, we tend to focus on Mac-based video editing products such as iMovie for the intro class and Final Cut Pro beyond that point. In the real world and at this school, you may also have noticed that there is something called the Adobe Creative Suite, which is used widely in a lot of our technology classes at YHS. And one thing you could get your hands on is something called Adobe Premiere, which is their video editing platform. I would like to thank Ryan Brooks for putting together this next segment for you, and that is exactly how to use one of the best editing systems out there, and that is Adobe Premiere.
Before we start editing, we need to get Adobe Premiere Pro. You can go to the Adobe Creative Cloud website and download Premiere Pro, or what I would recommend doing is downloading the Creative Cloud, installing it, and then getting Premiere Pro and whatever apps you would like to after. Okay, so we're going to want to make a folder and whatever, and you're going to call it whatever you want to. For me, I'm calling it How to Edit Tutorial. If you open it, you're going to make these 5 folders. You're going to make an audio folder for your voice recordings, voiceovers, or external audio. Your media for any pictures, video, or anything that you may have. You're going to want to make a folder for music if you have any. And then you're going to want to make 2 folders, but don't do anything with them just yet, for your Premiere file and scratch disks from Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, from there we're going to go to either Start, or if it's on your desktop, and you're going to open Adobe Premiere Pro. Depending on your computer, this may take a while to open, it may not. depends, but okay, now that Adobe Premiere Pro has opened, you are going to want to make a new project. Again, you can call it whatever, but for me, I'm just going to call it How to Edit Tutorial. Looks like I messed up my spelling, but it's okay as long as you can tell what it is. And pretty much you're going to want to save that into the file that we just made. So that's going to go into your How to Edit tutorial, and then you're going to want to put it in your Premiere file. And then you're probably going to want to leave all these settings alone, but the only one that I would recommend changing is from DV to HDV to high definition video from just definition video. And then for scratch disks, you're going to want to save this originally it'll save same as project, but you're going to want to change this and hit browse, go to where you saved your files, and pretty much that's where your scratch disk are you going to go in your scratch disk folders. So it'll save as the same folder next time, so you pretty much just keep going down the list and hitting select folder. Okay, I've done that for all your folders. You can want to leave your ingest settings alone, and now you can click OK. Okay, now that we have our Premiere open, we're going to import our media. You can either hit File and then Import or Control I, or you can right click and hit Import or just double click the import. Now we are going to go to our folder and we're going to double click on music or whatever folder you're going, and we're going to import our music. And now we're going to import our media. And then for this, you can either go clip by clip, or you can click in a section where there's no file and drag all of them open. This may take a little bit, but just give it a sec. It's loading. Okay, now that all of your media is imported, it will show up down here in the left-hand corner. This is going to be where all your media is, and now we need to drop our media to make our sequence in the timeline. So first, I'm just going to start off with this one clip, and now we have made a sequence because we have dropped in one file. Alright, for the rest of this, I'm going to mute this because we have music to go on top of this. So pretty much if you want to cut, let's say I want to have the video start right here, you can click the razor tool and then click right here, and then click your selection tool, select that and delete, or you can click C, cut it, hit V, then you can click it and then delete. Or if you would like to, this is how some people edit. I personally don't. You can drag your media into your source up here. Then pretty much you can mess around with it. Say I want to start right here, you can click I, and then over here you can click O, stands for in and out. So let's say I want it to start from right here, then you can take this, grab it, and drag it in, and it will be cropped from what you did up here. Personally, I don't like doing that. I feel like it takes more time, but again, this is just a how to edit video, and pretty much you need to find out how your workflow is going to be. Now that we have our media imported and our footage in, we're going to make a title. We're going to hit File, New, and then we're going to make a legacy title. We're just going to call this How to Edit, or just call it whatever. Now that we have our title in, we're going to actually make it. So you put it in, you just click wherever, and then for this one, we're going to call it How to Edit. And then for this, you hit Control A or select it, and then you can open this up a little bit, and then you can pretty much change your font size and pretty much everything about it. So now we are going to change the font. We click up here, and now I'm going to use just a normal font. If you would like more fonts than all these, you can go to Adobe Fonts and get as many fonts as you would like there. For this, I'm just going to use one of my favorite fonts, Bebeskai. So now it just says how to edit because we're selected on top of it. And now we can just exit out and it's right there. And then you can get rid of that as we have this one. So now that we have our title, we can drop it on top or drop it wherever. And pretty much, as you can see, it's just a title on there. Okay, now that we have our footage in, we're going to want to cut it. So how to cut it, we are going to click either the razor tool or from the selection tool, and then you hit cut, or you click CMV, as I said earlier. So now that we're going to do that, we're going to cut it up. So now now that we have it, you may want to add in some effects or transitions. To go there, you go to your effects tab, and you have video transitions, and then there's a bunch of them here. The default, which is probably the one that you should be using, is just a normal, simple crossfade, cross dissolve. So what you can do is, if you're on a Mac, hit Command, or Windows, hit Control, hold it, and then hover in the middle of it, and you'll see these two little bars. Then you can right click and then hit Apply Default Transition, which cross dissolve is your default. You can change that later if you would like to. So for this, we're going to hit Apply Default Transition. We're going to do it the same for the next clip. So pretty much what that does is it pretty much just fades through your different clips. And now we're going to deal with this title. You can either have it on the top just as it is, but in our case, we're going to move it out, and that's going to be in, okay, now that we have our clips moved, we have a simple little sequence. So this is not good video at all, it doesn't look good, but it's more so just to show the concept on how to edit. Now that we're done, we're going to hit enter, and that is pretty much going to render out any clips that need to be rendered out. And now we pretty much have all of our clips. To export, you want to make sure that you don't have any unnecessary clips out in your timeline, and you pretty much have just the project that you're going to do. So you hit File, Export, Media, or you hit Control M. Okay, now that we're in our export settings, what we're going to do is you want to change it to H.264, which is pretty much the most common and compatible with computers, Macs, Windows, anything. You can either, if you don't have as good of a computer, you can leave it on high bitrate, but if you have a better computer, you can change it to, what I would prefer to do is YouTube 1080 Full HD, which that's just a normal 1080p export. And then pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to click your output name, click it. We're going to save it in our how to edit tutorial, and we're just going to call it how to edit final. And then we're going to hit save. So now that's saved. You want to make sure export video and audio is set. If you would like, you can change any of these settings, maximum render quality. You don't have to, but up to you if you would like to. Now that you have all your settings and where you know where you're going to save it, you can click export. Depending on your computer and how long the video is, this may take a very long time to export. Since we only had a 9-second clip, exported very quickly. Now you can go to where you saved it, and you will see that you have the video that we just made. And if it was lagging in Premiere, it should not be lagging anymore on here. So that's it. This is pretty much how to edit just a basic little video in Adobe Premiere Pro. Thanks for watching.
Again, thank you, Ryan, for that tutorial on Adobe Premiere Pro. It is a complicated system, but it's worth learning. And again, start simple. Figure out, how are you going to create your timeline and go from there. And you'll find that little by little, you'll learn a very complicated system and You'll be in control of it just like you are with your Xbox or your PlayStations.